what will be missed is, of course, the agenda. It wasn't for the pleasure of traveling to Sochi, drinking some champagne there, that we're organizing this summit. It's to discuss things like Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, terrorism, and you should ask yourselves, is it a charity for Russia to fight terrorism or to help Americans with the face saving in Afghanistan right now, or to conclude successfully negotiations with Iran to deny them in future nuclear weapons? Answer this question for yourself, and you will understand who wants that, who needs that, everybody. So I don't understand people who say that it is, actually to hurt Russia. It will hurt world stability. It will prevent us from moving on issues that are challenging security of all our countries. I spent, before being posted here, I spent 9 years as a political director, first to G7+1 and then to G8. And I don't remember an occasion when summit was devoted to something that Russia wanted. Only once. Thanks to Jean Chrétien, when we had this summit in Kananaskis, the main topic on the agenda was global partnership to help Russia get rid of obsolete nuclear weapons. But again, is it a favor to Russia, or is it also in the interest of all other countries in the world who want to secure non-proliferation regime? So I think it's really a hindrance, and it will make a solution of some pressing problems more remote and more difficult. We will continue to work to use working channels. We will never sabotage such important things, but there is no substitute for leaders getting together when they have personal time. I witnessed it, for 30 years I participated in all Soviet American and then Russian American summits. For 30 years. And I know that during the times of tension, times of travail, huge challenges, there is nothing like personal interrelationship. So I'm saddened, not by the fact that, our chefs won't prepare Russian cuisine in Sochi for the coming guests, but by the fact that some important things won't be discussed between people who make ultimate decisions. There is no substitute for that.
Back to the staffer.
Yes.
So you don't recommend that he return to...
No, I won't have him back.
Okay, so the Crown and legal experts say that there's a concern that that may weaken the Crown's case and lead to...
We are prepared to cooperate, and all the, written depositions and others, I already nominated 2 people from consular department, so it's not unusual when person is absent, the victim is absent, especially when he's in hospital.
In your discussions with him, did he explain how and why he came into contact with
It's private information. I would prefer not to disclose it. I know that I am not Ed Snowden, and you are not National Security Agency.
So then, by not having him back, are you saying that you don't...
I am saying that I won't risk his life twice.
So you don't trust Canadian authorities to...
I don't trust the circumstances. I trust Canadian authorities. I love Canadian authorities. I admire Canadian authorities, but I won't risk his life twice.
Are you satisfied with that staffer's conduct leading up to the alleged assault?
I don't know if somebody is stabbed in the back he shouldn't, well, next time I will suggest to my people never to turn their back on a Canadian.
Ambassador, can I ask you, do you think that Russia has any legitimate claim to any other part of the Canadian territory?
I don't think so, and when you will go back to your office and read Putin's statement today, all the answers are there. No, I don't expect anything. Like I didn't expect any intervention, and there wasn't any intervention. There were more than 20,000 troops under arms, which were then Ukrainian army in Crimea. After the revolution, what is called revolution, there were two revolutionary governments, one in Kiev, one in Crimea, at odds with each other, because Ukrainian government didn't recognize the legitimate president, Yanukovych, and Crimea recognized him, or continued to recognize him. So immediately, for those people under arms, 20,000 people, which were armed to their teeth, because it's a very important region, strategically important region, Crimea, traditionally, and they were with the Ukrainian army. They had to make a choice. Who will continue to serve Ukraine and who will go to the Crimean government? And the fact is that mostly those people were recruited from local people. So they didn't come, majority of them didn't come from Kharkiv or Kiev or Lvov. Majority of them served there. It was a tradition even in the Soviet army and in Ukrainian as well, that you better recruit people who lived there. So part of them decided to stick with the Kiev government. The other part decided to become what they called armed forces of this new Crimean Republic. So 10,000 people, including special forces, which Kiev regime decided, I don't understand why, to disband immediately. And again, their families, many families of this special Berkut force were from Crimea. So they actually returned there. So they didn't need our intervention or occupation. When you have 10,000 people, well-trained, well-armed, and so under arms, they can do a lot. And I only hope that all this, standoff between the forces that are Crimean and forces that stick to Kiev will be, lifted as soon as possible. It's our cherished goal. We don't need any blood. There wasn't a single shot fired during the referendum or after, Crimea proclaimed independence from Kiev. Unlike Kiev, when more than 100 people were killed and more than 200 people disappeared without a trace. So it was relatively peaceful revolution in Crimea.
What's the relationship now between you and the Canadian government in light of the fact that Stephen Harper has called, Vladimir Putin reckless and so on? Have you been given any indication that your presence here as a diplomat is unwelcome, anything like that at all?
I'm left to my own wits. Again, my task as an ambassador is to try and conduct, as they say, damage limitation. It was the same goal during the Cold War with the United States, when we had tensions with Washington, and find solution to current problems. So I hope that this, propaganda hysteria will subside soon, and we will be back to the negotiating tables. Yesterday, when President Obama called my president, they discussed Ukraine and what to do next, with the aim of having, additional diplomatic discussions, negotiations. They proposed their plan. We have ours. It's, by the way, is published. So if you are interested, you can have it. We made the press release. It's not the top secret stuff. We are negotiating it with Americans, with Germans. German foreign minister participates.
Will there be-
So I hope your government will join these negotiations. It's a very, humble hope of an old man.
And in terms of the Arctic, is there anything that this conflict is going to change in the Arctic? Right now, you've got some...
Not for us, not for us. Again, if your government would like, to do something to undermine our very good cooperation in Arctic, well, it will sadden me.
But you've got paratroopers up there now, or they were there a few days ago. Is that any big deal, or what?
There were paratroopers there for the last 100 years. But when you have periods of tensions, everything is blown out of proportion. For example, we have annual test flights by strategic bombers. I imagine what hysteria will be here in the press if again a bomber will appear somewhere in the north, even in international airspace. I'm not suggesting it. I just imagine, the outburst of, and what some of your guys will say about, beginning of a new Cold War. Take it easy. Take it from me, who, unlike many of you young people, really lived through difficult periods of Cold War when we were on the verge of confrontation with the United States. There won't be any military conflict. There won't be any war between us and NATO or between somebody else, but there will be a certain period of hysteria. The sooner it's over, the better, because we already are negotiating solution with the Americans, with Germans, with others. So be assured that, you won't have to relive what my generation relived.
Mr.